I coded one of the most popular option selling strategy and the results were quite shocking. So before looking at the strategy, make sure you hit the subscribe button and turn on that notification button so you never miss a video on algorithmic trading as well as on the full stack development. So with that, let's look at what the strategy is. So the strategy is quite simple. You basically select one of the index of a country. For example, in case of India, you have Nifty 50, Bank Nifty, the Fin Nifty. There are other indices as well, but let's look at these three. And for US, you can go for S&P 500. So you select one of the indices, let's say Nifty 50, and after that, select that stock which contributes most to the movement of the index. The reason for that is that stock will be less volatile as compared to other stocks. So let's look at how can you find these stocks. Just go to TradingView. You will see the indices for different countries right on the home page of the website. So for example, let's say I want to check which is the stock which contributes most to the movement of the Nifty 50. So what I will do is I basically go to the products and this heat maps. So here I will see the stocks which contributes most to the movement of the index. So if I select Nifty 50 index, I see that HDFC, Reliance from the energy minerals, and technology service has TCS. These are probably the most biggest stocks in the Nifty 50 index. So after I've selected the stock, let's say I selected the Reliance, which looks like the biggest stock in the index. So what we will do is we will sell call and put option for that price that is nearest to the 10% negative or positive of the current price on the date of expiry of previous contract. So it looks quite confusing, I know that. But to make this easier, what we can do is we can go to a website called Sensible or any other website that offers an option chain. So what you can do is you can go to the Sensible, just log in with your broker. For example, you can use Zerodha Angel One, and the link for having the Zerodha account or Angel One account is in the description. Make sure you use that. If you don't have account, it will definitely help me. So coming back, let's say I want to sign up with my Angel One, or let's do it but with what you say Zerodha account. What I will do is I will just put in my username and password. What is my password? Okay, so it basically logs in to me into the Sensible. Once I logged in there, I will simply go to the, let's say, strategy builder, and from here, and don't worry, we will jump on to the coding part in just a moment, and this part is just for you to understand what the exact strategy is. So let's say I selected Reliance, and this will show the current price of Reliance, that is 2929.65. okay, so what we have to do is if you click on this build option, the build a new custom strategy, you will be getting an option chain for this Reliance stock. So what you have to do is you have to just subtract the 10% from this current level and select that nearest rounded value and just sell the put option for that. And similarly you have to add the 10% to this value and sell the nearest rounded call option for that. So let's do that. If 29.29 is the price and I want 10% less, that is 90% of this, it is 2636. that will 2600 is that 36 660, yeah, this would work, I guess. Yeah, if I just add 10% to the current value, that is 110% of 2929, that is 3221. 3200, this one 3220 is the nearest rounded value. So this will create such graph, which means if the price stays between this level from here to here before the expiry, that is 26 September, the current date is 8 September. If the price stays between these marks before 26 September, you will get a profit. That's the simple strategy. But if the price goes above this level or falls below this level, you will get a loss. And if you see this little chart, and you will see that if the price stays between the range, you will make the profit. If the price goes below or just break that leg, you will get a loss. So this is the quite simple strategy that we have to code. Now let's jump on our code to see how the things work, and if we just backtest in on a data that is large enough to see if the strategy actually works or it is just a kind of a trap for you that could make a big loss for you. So let's check that. So let's jump on the code part. So this is the code file, and by the way, if you want this code file, the link is down in description. You could go to the link and get that code from right here. And also if you want this chart link, that is also down in description. Now let's understand the exact code. We have like library called pandas and numpy. Just you have to import these two files, and it is like connecting to the GPU. So the GPU has been successfully connected, and if you see, this code has been run. Now what you have to do is you have to specify the data file right here, okay, and the date from which you want to test it. So from where should we get this data from? The simplest resource for that is Yahoo Finance. What we have to do is, let me just close all these tabs that it doesn't require them anymore. So what you can do is you can simply go to Yahoo Finance. Yahoo Finance. You will see this website, and from there you can simply search for the stock that you want the data for. For example, I want it for Reliance. IANCE Reliance.ns. This is the right stock. So you will get to this page, and from that page here you can just go to this historical data and simply search for the period that you want the data for. Let's say I wanted the data for the last 5 years. If you say, let's say I'll get this data, and you can also select the candle from here as well. Alright, I just realized that it is not letting me download the data. I think it may be probably due to that I'm recording this screen. It might be due to that. So if the same issue occurs with you as well, what else you can do is you can just simply go to Kaggle, and under dataset you can search for the stock that you want the data for. Let's say Reliance. You will see the data right up here, the closing data and everything you will see. Just click on this download. Alright, your file will be downloaded, simply as that. And once you download the data, what you have to do is you have to firstly enter the name of the file right up here. Once you do that, just click on this folder option and upload your file here. Let's say I want to just test it for the Reliance stock. I have this file. Okay, it will be uploaded right up here. Now what you have to do is just copy this file name and put it right here. Now specify the date, from which date you want to backtest it. For example, I want it tested from the 2020, or if you want it to test it from the beginning of the file, you can simply just let it blank. So if you run this as well, then there's like a quick utility thing and configuration that is happening. We are just loading the file. All right, we are like setting the index as a date. So once you run this as well, after this thing, if you just quickly check what the data is in this file, you can just simply run this command and it will show you the top 5 rows and the open, high, low and close and adjusted close, as well as the volume of the stock. So once this is done, we are creating a kind of a logic for calculating the monthly return, and it is like happening right here. So it will get the last closing price of each month and store it in the monthly data, and after that it will be like doing the percentage change, like how much percentage of the value has been changed in each month. If the percentage is like 0.5, then it will simply multiply it by 100 and it will give a 50% as a value if that month has changed. And we are simply storing the monthly returns in returns.csv file and then storing it in the data variable. If you run this cell as well, you will see a file called return.csv in your folder. You can, if you want it in your local PC, you can just simply download it from here. But anyways, it will do all this above processing and give you the returns of each month. If you see, these are the return for each month. For 1996 February 29, like the results were this for whole February month. Like in February month of 1996, the returns were 19%, and so on for the other months. So anyways, after this, what we are doing is we are like separating the negative as well as the positive returns in a different, what you say, a list or an array. So we are just simply doing this thing here, and once this is done, we are getting the average return of the positive returns. I just showed you a section where you just like plus, subtract or add 10% to the value to get the return. But what if we do a kind of a little optimization? Instead of putting a straight 10% value, we just find the average or the mean of the returns of whole month from that month, and we just put that. Instead of 10%, let's say the average return is 8% for Reliance from its beginning to the current year. So it can like change the things. For example, if the stocks goes to 20% on an average each month, then our strategy will be like working well. So let's see what else is happening up here. So we're just calculating the mean and median of positive returns, and similarly we are doing it for the negative returns as well. If you want to check it, you can just create a new cell and simply type pmean here. You will see that 8.8% of average returns has been generated by Reliance if the returns are positive, and on the negative side the returns was minus 6%. And similarly you can check it for median, and that's 7%. So after that, that's the main thing. So this particular function will do if the particular leg has been broken up. So what is leg up here? If you remember from the sensible, we have like a kind of, what you say, a kind of a break-even point on both sides. So it will get that break-even point and check how many times that break-even point has been broken, and we are just saving that. And once that's done, we are calculating the win rate. So win rate will tell us how many times the particular stock has stayed in the range in that sensible diagram that you have shown. So after this is done, we are like displaying the results right up here. So if we just run this column as well, and right up here, so that's the like important thing that we all want to check it out. So what we are doing up here is we have two options right up here. Either we can put the custom positive as well as the negative break-even points. The strategy that we have, like if you see, we have like the break-even point of 10% on both sides. We can like customize this thing. We can put 8 minus 8, or what else we can do is we can simply put p mean here, or just put 0. It will automatically take this mean value. All right, so let's say the real strategy, which is like 10%, we just do that. So how the results will be like changed. So you got the results right up here. So the starting date for this was like 1996, and the ending was on like the today's date. No, not the today's date, but the last opening of the market, that was on 5th of September. So the highest monthly return in 1 month, the biggest return that the Reliance stock has got is like 100%. That is like very big number, and it has probably gone in the initial days. You can also like copy it and test it and check it in that returns.csv file as well. So the other thing that you can see is the lowest return that has gone up to minus 56%, and that is also a big drawdown. So after that you can see the positive monthly return, average positive monthly return, that is like 8%, that we have already checked up right here. All right, and in addition to this, you got average negative return for a month, and median positive and median negative monthly returns. So after this thing, you can see the positive total win rate, how many times a particular stock, not the stock but the Reliance stock, has like broken the point of break even on the upper side. So it is like 57 times out of 191 times the positive number has been broken out. Similarly, 26 out of 153 times the stock has broken down the negative level. So what exactly it is telling us, if this is the break-even point, let's say this thing, and below this is, let's say, our complete loss right up here, and similarly below this is our loss. So, and what do you say, this thing is our profit. This is what the rough thing it is telling us about, right? So if you see in the code what this is telling us, so 57 times out of 191 times the Reliance stock has gone above this level, and 26 times out of 153 times a stock has gone below this level. So that, which tell us that positive win rate for this will be like 70%. So 70% of the time the stock is like staying, it is not breaking the upper break-even point, and 83 times the stock is not breaking the negative point. And if we just combine the probability of both this thing that is like happening in the logic of this code, so it is like the overall probability for this strategy is like 76%, which sounds as a good number. But the important thing right up here is, if the stock is going below this level or like breaking this level, how much loss we are incurring. That is the biggest thing that people are missing on it. We are making like 2% of the return on 56%, right? Not the 56 but the 76% of the time. 76% of the time we are making 2% of the return, but we are losing, like, we don't know the exact amount that we are losing on here, like if the price goes below this level. So to verify how much price we are losing up here, if the leg breaks up, you can just open this again, and if we like put the Reliance stock up here, I can't remember the actual value we got up here, but let's say if this is like this number, and on the above side it is like this, let's say this, yeah. So it tells us that we are making 1.6% of the return if the price stays on this level, and let's say our strategy works for the 10%. It tells us that we are making the profit on this level 76% of the time, but if the price goes below this level or this level, and let's say the price will not go on this in the next 5 days or 10 days, let's say 13 days, after 13 days the price has gone to this level, we are making a loss of 11%. Or if it goes below this level, we are making it of 13% in just 13 days of entering the position, and the return we are getting is like 1.6%. so this number doesn't like falls into the mind that is like used to make a profit. So in my recommendation, this strategy is fairly not good to put the money on. So with this, let's end this video up here, and if you enjoyed it, please make sure to like it and also put your thoughts in the comment section. Also make sure you visit our website optimusexpert.com to get the source code as well as other things that we have to offer you. Thank you for your time, guys.